All right, we have a special guest tonight. We got Justin Phillips with Support Black Colleges. He's half of the owner. They've been doing millions on Black Friday. They grossed what, $4 million in 2020.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Talk about a multi-million-dollar company, like he's like real humble, down to earth. It's real low key. Like you wouldn't know it on his Instagram. Like he's just Support Black Colleges. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm outstanding. Oh yes, sir.
All right, cool. Well, we got the food rolling up here, guys.
Oh yeah.
All right.
That look like mine right there.
All right. So first, I want to say thanks. Thank you for coming down and just blessing us with a little game, little knowledge. Everyone knows, what Support Black Colleges is, the movement, and I think that there's still a lot for you guys to accomplish. Y'all still on the roller coaster ride up,
sure.
And so Justin P's in the building. Introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, bro. I'm Justin Phillips, born and raised in Houston, Texas. Went to Howard University and just moved back to Atlanta and started a business called Support Black Colleges. Our mission is to raise awareness, inspire, and uplift HBCUs, but we just happen to do it through clothing. So that's me.
Yep. So everybody wants a clothing line. Everybody wants, I think you guys probably symbolize or you're the epitome of a successful clothing line, next to like your FUBUs and your Rockawares. Mm-hmm. It's just not run by rappers, it's run by entrepreneurs.
Right.
And so start a little bit off, we don't want to get too deep because everybody knows you guys' story if they know Justin P, but some people that watch our show might not know who you are. Right. They might not know who Support Black Colleges is. So we're here to, let them know about that, let them know about who you are, but start off from a little bit of the beginning, as simple as you can as to where you started and then how you get to where you start, where you go back to Howard and you start.
Yeah, man. So going to Howard, it's interesting because I was the first person in my family to go to college in general. So I didn't know what school to go to, which ones were what. I had no clue at all. So I actually chose to go to Howard because I was getting my hair cut. Obviously, I ain't got a haircut in a long time now, but I was getting my hair cut and my barber was like, what schools did you get accepted to? Because I was a senior and I was like, I got accepted to Howard, Baylor, and the University of North Texas. And he was like, man, just go to Howard. That's the only one you got accepted to that wasn't in Texas, man. Just get out the state, man. Go have some fun, whatever. So, and mind you, this wasn't even my barber. It was, my barber wasn't there. So I had to go to, you got to, hey, barber, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, brother, my guy not here. Can you hold me down? So I go to him and he's telling me this. So I chose, and it's so interesting looking back where it's like, these big, massive life decisions, I was so young, I didn't even know, and I chose to go to Howard because he just suggested to. Yeah. So no clue what a HBCU was, no clue what a sorority, fraternity, like nothing at all. And I go there and that was kind of the start of Support Black Colleges. The way that it kind of started was I met Corey at a house party. Mm-hmm. And he was a year above me, a sophomore when I was a freshman coming in. And I was sitting on the curb because I had threw parties back home in Houston, but I was like, man, I gotta bring this to Howard and make some money when I get there or whatever. So I get down to Howard. Corey's throwing a house party and I'm just sitting on the curb, just like, man, like, how does this thing work out here? Like, do they do it the same as they do it in Houston? Do you like, who makes the money? Who's like, working the doors? And then Corey was like, why are you like sitting outside just like looking weird? You know what I'm saying? And I'm just telling him like, bro, I'm just trying to make sure, like, see what's going on. Yeah. And that's kind of like where our friendship started. And then I actually didn't get involved in the business until 2018, so 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. And him and his cousin started it together. I just was trying to help out, make him an Instagram. I was in the first photo shoot, just trying to be a good friend. Yep. And then from then, he invited me to come into the business, and then it went from there.
Yeah. Can you talk about putting up your last $10,000 and 2 cents to join Corey, and then his cousin, hops out. Right. Can you talk about why they hop? Like, nobody really says why his cousin stops, fooling with Support Black Colleges, and then you come in.
Sure. It wasn't even more so that. It was more so he always was a great designer, and he was just had his own stuff going on. Like he was on top of him and Corey starting Support Black College together. He had his own business on the side as well that was doing really well. So it was more so like he was focused more on that than he was Support Black Colleges, and so that's the only reason why. But yeah, it wasn't that big.
From the beginning, y'all negotiated 50%, or he was just like, I'm gonna give you 50%.
Oh nah, it was like so mind you, I just came into my bad. Yeah. So mind you, I just came into the business. So it was more so like it was always their business, you know. And then when I came in, Corey was like, yo, let's do this together. Like, let's really do it, you know. We stopped doing it for so long. Let's pick it back up. And then it was more so like, all right, we starting it back up together. His cousin, and he wasn't worried about it. It was like more so, all right, bet y'all started together. We gonna pick it up and then let's just keep it moving, because he was getting his own money. So it was more so like that rather than.
So kind of around that time frame, it wasn't what it is now. So do you think that maybe the vision that Corey had of what it could be, maybe even what you saw, because you saw something in being able to move forward with the company. Maybe the cousin didn't see that maybe he didn't see the vision. Maybe he didn't think it would happen the way it happened. Whatever the reason, it's you two that run that run the entire show. So you went down to Howard. What year was that?
That was, I graduated 2011. So about 2012. Right?
2012. And then so you stumbled your way around college.
Right.
Found your way back home, right?
Right.
And then you were doing your thing here.
Yes.
And Corey, I heard the story in one of the other shows. Corey basically pulled you and said, "Come on,"
Yeah, man. Oh man, that's the whole story by itself there.
Yeah.
So essentially, I graduated, and after I graduated, man, I thought I was like that guy. You know what I'm saying? So I was super popular on campus. 100,000 plus followers on Twitter and Instagram, all this stuff. And then, but when I graduated, I didn't have a job offer, an internship, a car, a place to stay, like none of that stuff that you would think that you would have when you graduate.
Yep.
So immediately I'm like, well, look like I got to move back home with my mom. You know, so it is what it is. Yep. So I moved back home with her, and I started applying for a bunch of jobs, and then I get a job really quickly, just from, because of knowledge that I got from throwing parties and whatnot, that was attractive for potential business owners. So I do that, and then I come back down, and then I start working or whatever. And then after that, that's when Corey is like calling me, and he's just like, "Yo, bro, like, I really want to pick this Support Black College thing back up. Like, me and my cousin haven't been doing it too much, but I really want to pick it up."
Yeah.
And so I'm working or whatever, but then I quit after a while because it just wasn't in me.
That wasn't for you,
it just wasn't for me. So 6 to 8 months, I probably worked a job. Then I quit after that, and then I got into just things I wasn't supposed to be doing, bro. Like, that's why I think it's so important. Like, I always said that your environment fuels your enlightenment, because like my environment that was around me was pushing me in a way that I probably shouldn't have been going down.
Yeah.
So that's all I saw, you know what I'm saying? So I'm surrounded by that, so I instantly became that. So it's like then I was just like, you know what, Corey just kept calling me, bro, like maybe 3 to 6 months in a row, like, bro, I really think you should come down here, like Atlanta's cool, like this and that. And then it came down to a point where I was like, I'm either gonna go all the way in on this negative side, or I'm gonna go all the way in on the positive, or like potential positive, because I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? And then that's kind of where it went. I chose that route.
What do you think Corey saw in you? Now, obviously, you had a relationship from back when you first started going. What do you think, or what asset do you think? Because like me as a business owner, if I want to grab somebody and I need help, I need this. What do you think Corey saw in you, particularly, that he had to have?
I think it was because we had already done business together. So we threw the parties together. And when I came in, I was already like, yo, this is how we do it back home. We need to do this, and that. Like, I was already that type of person. And then also my job was actually for digital marketing. So like Facebook ads, Instagram ads, like all of that type of, that type of realm. And he was like, he didn't know how to do that. So he was like, you know what? I think if you bring that skill set, then it'll be able to take this to the next level.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Can we take it back to when you was in middle school and you You started selling candy to buy that grill.
Yeah,
Can you talk
yeah.
about that and like the hustle mind frame that you always had?
Oh yeah, I mean the mindset. I believe that it comes from my mom.
mom?
I believe so. My dad too, but my mom. Whenever I wanted something, and like we in Houston right now, so I'm Paul Wall, Mike Jones. Like I'm looking around, like oh, folks got grills. Like that's what we doing. You know what I'm saying? So I remember in like I want to say 6th grade was when I got my first grill, and I just told my mom, I was like, Mom, I want a grill. Like, you know what I'm saying? I want to be like Mike Jones, Slim Thug, like all of them. And then she was like, well, if you want things, you got to work for them.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay, like that makes sense. So I was like, what can I do to make this money? And then she took me to Costco one day, bought a bunch of Kit Kats and Starbursts and all of that. And then
she like hustling.
So went to go sell candy. And that was like actually my first experience of business ownership, rejection as well, because I sold candy for 2 days, made a couple $100, bought my grill, and then when I went back to school, they called me into the principal's office. They telling me, they like, hey, your partner snitched on you, like not for real. I didn't believe it, like, and it's funny now because like when you look at it, like how they kind of do on First 48, like man. You know, Bilal told us everything. Like he put you out on the front street. Like it is what it is. So I was just looking back, and I remember in my head like, there's no way my partner snitched on me, bro. Like, there's no way. And so I didn't tell them anything. But then they was like, let me see your backpack. Took my backpack and poured all of my candy out in front of my face. And that was like my first experience of business ownership, rejection, like stuff like that. But that's kind of how it all started.
Did you stop or you kept on going?
I want to say I kept going like on some sneak, but I don't remember like most likely.
The next backpack that was your re-up.
Right.
You knew. You thought, hey, I made this much money. I'm gonna do it again.
Right. You about to buy the J's with that. J's with that.
Come on now.
It's crazy. So there's a lot of I think in any successful thing that anybody does, whether it's a clothing line or anything else, there's a lot of the same story over and over and over. Rejection, a lot of learning experiences. People call them L's or losses. Right. And I think it's all uniform that you take those L's, right? Because your story is before you went back in 2018, you were dibbling, dabbling, you were learning the market per se when it comes to the digital world, right? Ads, all that other good stuff. So I'm sure you didn't just wake up one morning and you knew what to do.
Yeah, of course.
It's a process.
Yeah.
It's a process. And then at some point when you said, I got it, then you applied it to something that was going to take off, obviously a product that people wanted and it had it's got a solid foundation behind it. So you also talked about, your circle when you were back in Houston. And so when you're back in Houston, without throwing anybody under the bus.
Right, yeah, of course.
Where's that circle at now?
Oh, yeah.
That you had to change?
A few of them still around, a few of them not. Some moved to Atlanta with me and, to try to just taking life to the next level. A few ended up like incarcerated.
Oh, wow.
Just it's all over the spectrum. So
So do you believe in that? Your network is your net worth?
Yeah, bro. It's so real.
Yeah.
Like you show me your friends, I'll show you your future.
We say it over and over and over. You hear it on different podcasts over and over and over. But it's important to actually see it in real life. Like, there's that one shining thing that was in your head and somewhere it clicked and you're like, nah, I got to get up out of here.
Yeah.
The same thing happened to me at one point in my life. I'm in a household living in an apartment with 3 or 4 or 5 guys, and I was only there for like 2 months, and I was like, "This ain't me."
Right?
Yeah, I can't do this.
That's literally exactly what happened to me. Like,
you get disgusted.
Yeah,
it's like you're like, man, and everybody else is content.
Right?
They're happy. They might not be happy, but they're obviously content with what they're doing, and then they either follow you or they don't.
Right. That's exactly what happened, bro. Like I remember, like it was yesterday. It was like I want to say it was like May or June, and it was May, matter of fact. And I was like, I sat everybody down because we was living in a 1-bedroom apartment with my family, and like right on Green Ridge Road, like not too far from here. And
we're in the same area,
bro. I'm literally, I sat him down. I said, hey, look, I'm taking my life to the next level, bro. If you guys do not have it together, or at least in some way, shape, or form by June 1st, it's May 1st right now, I'm either going to leave or I'm gonna kick y'all out of my apartment. One of the two.
Yeah.
But I just remember walking into the apartment and seeing like, you know, 2 people sleep on the floor, 1 sleep on the couch. I came back in from working at my job and I'm like, bro, this is not what it is meant for me. Like, I don't know what it was. Like, I always say like maybe God, a higher power or whatever, but I just remember like feeling in my heart, like, bro, you have greatness inside of you and this is not who you are. And I was like, I have to stop this. Like,
look, a lot of boxers do this. Like when they're training, they like sleep in the gym, they sleep on the floor, they sleep in that like little room in the back just to keep them hungry. Yeah. Just to keep them like poised and focused. So do you still sleep on the floor to this day?
Yeah, I do.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a point where you're going to get off the floor and sleep on the bed?
I have no clue, bro. Maybe like, you know, a woman come around and be like, hey, I don't know about all that.
That's when you pull out the thing on the trundle, right?
So, but I do right now. Yeah.
I still see a lot. I mean, when people grab success, normally it changes them. But when so like I said, we talked at GoCon. You know, shout out to Zoe in Atlanta for putting on GoCon. Right. So many connections were made in that room, and what I gathered was you and Corey are not done, and y'all are still hungry. I believe, and we know we're gonna have him on in January, I think, but. Either one of you guys are still going to pull up on anybody who y'all need to wear your shirt to this day.
1,000%.
Yeah, and most people won't do that anymore. You know, they was like, nah, we made it. We're good. And it's y'all have so much more in you.
Yeah, I think it's just because like, I don't know. I just kind of, I liken it to like just Houston, bro. Like, you know, I remember a time in our business where I was just like, man, it feels like things are like just plateauing. I'm like looking around like, what are we not doing? And I was like, damn, we not doing everything that got us here. And I was like, all we need to do is just stop acting like we too cool and do exactly what just got us here over and over again. Because I think that success is like just doing the same boring, simple thing over and over again. People get distracted by the new shiny object or the new business plan or the new this and that. I'm like, nah, bro, do exactly what got you here over and over and over again. And I think that that's kind of what separates us because like we don't think that we too cool. We don't think that we too smart. Always willing to learn. Always willing to pull up on somebody. And I was actually telling Bilal yesterday because
that's Bilal.
Yeah, that's one of my best friends. So kind of how y'all like since 5, like we was like 10 years old. So I was telling him, I was just like, I'm always trying to like not be the smartest, not be the most rich, not be like because he was just like I'm going to a conference next week. So we just did GoCon, but I'm going to a conference next week. And I'm going to be the most broke person at that conference next week. So, but that's the goal. Because my brother, he's not here, but he was like, man, do you ever feel like out of place? You know, like when you go to, you know, this and that. And I was like, you know, sometimes I do, but I do it on purpose because I want to be the brokest. I want to be the not the smartest. Like that's the goal. So because it's always a new level to go to. So
Can you break down the funnel? Can you break down the funnel? Like what times y'all post?
Oh sure.
And then a little bit about running Tyler Perry's social media.
So when we post, we do 9 a.m., 1 p.m., 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. And we're trying to take that so we're 4 times a day right now, but we're trying to get to 5. And the reason is because there's different times when people consume content. So morning, late morning, afternoon, dinner, then late night. So if I only post 1 time per day, let's just say it's at noon, I'm only getting that noon, mid-afternoon type of crew. But I miss out on the person that only comes at 9 a.m. or only comes at 9 p.m. So the goal is more so to just cover the whole spectrum. So that's why we post in that way. And then what was that second part that you said?
The funnel.
The funnel.
Oh, and the Tyler Perry.
The funnel. And then you talk about Tyler Perry.
So then with Tyler Perry, that was just a whole different. So when we were like first trying to get our little taste of like side business, like income or whatever, we were building people's social media accounts and we were managing their Instagrams. So we're managing hundreds of people. Like me and Corey probably had like 200 or so clients between both of us, all paying us $100 a month for our Instagram growth. And randomly we get a call like, hey, met you guys at the gathering spot out in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Shout out TK and Ryan. And we got a play on our hands that is, TPS, Tyler Perry Studios, needs somebody to do their Instagram or whatnot. So
wow,
we like, all right, well, let's go do the interview. So we go do the interview. It goes really well. We get the job, and we start working with them as a client, and it just turned into so much. It was one of those things where it's like you get your foot in the door, and then you get exposed to so much more. So
that's
like,
right. Yep.
I always tell new entrepreneurs that too. It's like, even if you got to do something for free, like just make a logo, like whatever it is, because once you get your foot in the door and you made the logo, well, now you're gonna be the person that makes the website, does the Facebook ads, does everything else. So it kind of turned into that with Tyler Perry. We started designing their clothes and doing all of their merchandise and all of those things as well.
There's so many things in what we just went over that I kind of break it down real quick because I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. But so many things that you went over that go straight over people's heads a lot of times, even when they want it really bad. They want to be an entrepreneur. They want to have their own company. When you went back to about when you started the plateau in business and you had to go back to, hey, get us back. Let's do back what we did to get here. Right. For sales guys in our industry, like when a sales guy is slumping in his sales, we call it go back to the basics. Go back to the very beginning, the very simple things that you think you get too fancy for. Right. Like, well, I don't got to do this closing thing, or I don't got to do this because I'm that good. Right. And then you get away from the basics. Yeah. It's the same thing. There's a term for it. I'm sure my buddy over here knows it, but people don't understand that. They think that the next level is this. I can't go back. Right. But you always got to go back to the basics. It's
the only way.
Always got to go back to the basics. And then you were talking about, working with the Tyler Perry Studios and all of your customers that you had that you were doing social media management for. Right. You guys? Okay. So when you think about that, I have this little idea in my head. It's called a zero entry, where you're not using the money from Support Black Colleges as a company to live on, right? Because there's still things you got to do. There's still bills you got to pay. Right. Facts. You're reinvesting into the company all the time, but you have this side income that's creating your living, right? And until one day Support Black Colleges is big enough to now support your living, right? So do you still have those same customers that you're doing social media for?
Nah, not anymore.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like a gradual process to, because you're talking a lot of success in it, to be honest, a very short period of time. 2018, 2019, 2020 was just last year, and we all know what 2020 was like. Right, yeah. So man, all these things you're just saying, they're what everybody else goes through, and it's just a matter of, does everybody else put the pieces of the puzzle together to get to that point? Right.
I don't know what to say about that. Yeah, it's a fact.
It's fact. Yeah.
Like, what did y'all do on Black Friday that just happened? You had those numbers yet?
Yeah. What did we do? We killed it, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars every day. Like Monday. Yeah. Well, we started early, so from Wednesday till Monday, I don't think we did a day under six figures. Yeah.
Okay.
It was smooth.
Well, how much y'all gonna gross by the end of this year? Because I know y'all did 4 last year.
Yeah, probably a little bit over.
Over 4?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But not including wholesale sales too, though. So probably somewhere around 4 or 5.
4 or 5?
Yeah.
Do you guys have a team that tries to get towards, or anybody that specifically works towards trying to get inside the big brand stores?
Oh yeah, man, that's a good question because we don't really get to talk about them too much. But so me, I like to pay people that are smarter than me. So my guy David. Oh man, this is crazy. I've never talked about him before. But he's like a silent killer. Like my boy David, he was the ex CEO of Steve Madden and the president of Calvin Klein and a few other brands, and he like started Coach's like first 6 stores. So I pay him monthly to just show me the way. You know what I'm saying? Like from the big box retailer like perspective, because we got like the scrappy like entrepreneur like hustle game, but I'm like, bro, how do I get into Urban Outfitters and DTLR and Macy's and all these places that we're in now? So yeah, the team, you got David, who's our consultant on the big box retailer side. You have Nancy, she's our consultant on just content and email, like every all pieces of content. And you have Kessie, who ships all of our orders. So she is a Black woman-owned business out in Miami and Colombia, like South America. They make everything for us, store it for us, and ship everything so that we can just go out and do our marketing thing.
That's important, I think, to as a company grows, you guys have to scale as well.
For sure.
Yep.
I play this game like every day almost. How did y'all get into NBA 2K?
Oh man, that was actually, it's interesting because that was one of the most easy things.
Are you serious?
Like, very easy.
Wow.
Like, it's crazy. So, we were just, I was talking one day with Corey and then my boy Alaska. We were just talking and he was like, we were just like, bro, we got all these NBA players, Chris Paul and Giannis and all of these folks, but we not in the game, but there's clothing in the game. So I'm like, what do we need to do? So we went on Instagram and we went to Ronnie 2K, who I think he owns the game or made it or something along those lines. Made it. So we DM'd him, just trying to like, what I'm saying?
Instagram.
We DM'd him on Instagram. He didn't respond though.
Okay.
Which naturally, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, but we went to everyone that he was following, and then we literally, me and Court took the time and went through everybody's bio, and it said if anyone had NBA 2K in their bio at all, we messaged them as well. And we were like, hey, look, we have Chris Paul, all of these people, like everyone in the NBA, which is listing off everyone wearing our merchandise, and sent them a picture of them wearing it. How do we get into the game? Why are we not in the game? Like, what do we need to do? We sent it out mad times, and maybe a few, like one person, I remember a few people responded, but one really stood out, and it was a guy that went to a HBCU. He went to the University of Maryland Eastern Shores, and he was like, look, I'm not the guy to do it, but I work at 2K. I went to a HBCU. Love what you guys got going on. This is who you need to talk to. And then he put us in, contact with them. Then we emailed them and was like, told them the story, what we were trying to do. They emailed back and was like, send us all of the files, Illustrator files or whatever, and sent it to them. And they was like, all right, it's gonna go up. They was like 24-hour process, and that was it. Like, that was it.
So how much they paid y'all?
No, they didn't pay us.
No,
So y'all get paid on.
So
every time somebody buys something in the game.
No, and we did that strategically too, because we wanted to make it free. So everyone that wears our stuff or gets our stuff in the game, it's all free. So they were like, how much do you want to charge people to get it? And we was like, we don't want to charge nothing, and we want everyone to get it, and we want it to be during Black History Month. So because it was like December, January when we started working out the deal, and then we was like, it makes sense for February. I was like, look, let everyone get it for free. Strategically say, hey, this is a Black History Month collaboration with Support Black Colleges, and make it free all February. And so that for us, that was like everyone could have access to it. Everyone was wearing it in the park, all of that. So it was more so an exposure play rather than it was like a deal. See,
people don't understand that. They don't get that concept. Like it's somebody else that had a brand that was doing well. Let's say it was Support, whatever,
right?
And they get into a situation where they can get into a game like that where there's millions of users, right? The first thing they think about is money. $1 a user, $2 a user, whatever the dollar amount is, and they start thinking that way. But there's a bigger play on that, and it's the exposure that those whoever's playing the game. I won't say they're not kids anymore because he's a grown man plays the game, but everybody that plays the game, they're gonna go out and if they're rocking that shirt or that jersey or that a hoodie on the game, they want one in real life.
Yeah,
exactly.
So it transfers over. It's like it's the real world meta.
And
It is.
And then also like it translates into so many other things too. So even off of the strength of us doing that, they got to see how we do business. So they were like, oh, you guys like really know what you're doing, like do good business, like okay. And then that turned into, now this February they want to do an actual collaboration where we make merchandise with them and a capsule collection, and we release on the game again in that way. So now it was more so like, again, how do I get my foot in the door? And then how do I finesse that into anything else that I can?
Relationships.
And that's all it was.
Relationships matter. We talked about that with Big Business last week. Relationships go way more than dollars.
Bro, oh my God. Like even the Chris Paul relationship in general, like that whole thing, it's just relationships, bro. Like
whose idea was that to not to get at Chris Paul, but to get at the designer that's putting his clothes together?
I'm trying to think. I just remember that I remember the day because Corey was like, "Yo, bro, you want to go to this game with me?"
Yeah.
And I was like, not really. And he was like, I'm about to go and just get a ticket that's over the tunnel and try to just give him some merchandise, like throw it at him. And I was like, yeah, I'm not trying to do all that. Like, I'm straight. And so he ended up going, and then he tried, and it just didn't work out. And I just remember when he got back home, we were just like talking, like, it's got to be a better way to do it. And that's when we kind of came up with the idea of, like, we call it indirect influencer marketing, where you get in contact with the person that influences the influencer. Because we realized, I was like, bro, Chris Paul don't dress himself. Same with LeBron and all of these people. I was like, they don't dress themselves.
They always have somebody on the right or the left that
they don't have time.
gives them the ideas, gives them the clues, or they'll vet somebody.
Exactly.
You know, like, nah, this guy's garbage. Nah, you need to talk to this guy.
Exactly. So we were just like, all right, like, who can we talk to? We was like, well, maybe we need to get to the designers or the stylists or something like that. And then we kind of just came up with that idea of hitting up his stylist. And then we actually randomly knew someone who knew her already that we played basketball with. And then he was like, I'll put you in contact. And then we got in contact with her. Turned out they had already bought some stuff and we just needed to ship it out. So it was like, all right, hurry up and ship that out. Put a bunch of stuff inside of it too. And then it turned into that relationship.
So you still play ball?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. We play every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday in
Atlanta.
Yeah, in Atlanta. Yeah.
Oh, in Atlanta?
Yeah.
This the Hooper over here.
Oh, for real?
Y'all still hoop.
Yeah, we play.
So we do this. We just started doing this thing. It's we call it the Minority Report, where we want you to give us your idea or what you see the next couple of years going into the future look like for entrepreneurs. Like right now, the Airbnb thing is popping. The Turo thing is popping.
Right.
What do you see over the next, let's say, progressive 1 to 5 years?
That's a very good question. And the reason why it's so important is because I think that people worry, they worry too much. This is what I think. So I think that it's more important about which boat you're in rather than how hard you row in the boat that you're in. So it's more important to be in the right situation than it is to just be going hard and hustling and whatnot. Because like for right now, if you're in the crypto boat, the metaverse boat, all of those things, you inevitably will be successful. But if you're in the newspaper advertising boat, it doesn't matter how hard you try, you will not be able to be as successful. Right. So but as far as those things, I'm heavy into crypto right now, heavy into the metaverse right now, and those are like my main two focuses, other than just building the brand and exiting sooner or later.
So again, business always changes. It's like it's like an ocean. You got to flow with it or be the flow. And so, we have these other brands that have been successful before your brand.
Right.
And as you look at back in the past, like you look at the Fubus and like I talked about earlier, the Rockawares, those brands aren't what they were then, because you can call it a wave, you can call it, business, because you're eventually going to move on to something you think.
Right.
Where do you think that is for you? Like,
I feel like probably in the next 3 to 7 years. The reason I say that is because I personally believe that all of these kids are now starting to go to HBCUs, and they're actually making that shift where they're consciously picking these types of schools. And then also, I think that by 2025, 2030, majority of the country is going to be people of color. So I see the shift happening already with the people that are getting in contact with us, trying to get a piece of this field, and they see it as well. So I think for us, it's probably going to be either we keep it, and pass it down and just keep the business in our own hands, or we just exit at, I'd say I can see 100 million or few within the next 3 to 5 years. But I think that luckily we're in a place where we want and can do so much. So we understand the metaverse, and we understand big box retail, and we understand crypto, and we understand all of these things, and also media, because there's no reason that the Texas Southern game isn't on TV, just like the Duke game is. So we understand big media as well. So do we go into support Black media? Do we go into, whatever it is? So I think that's the future for us, where it's, exiting the business, starting other conjunctions inside of the same business model, and then doing whatever else we want.
Turns to a bigger movement, because like you're talking about that wave. I see the wave. I see where athletes, student athletes are going to this college versus that college, where it used to be the other way around. And so at some point, even those who don't make it into the NBA and NFL, those executives that are coming out of those colleges, those historically Black colleges, are going to go into the work field. Not everybody's an entrepreneur. Not everybody wants to run their own business. Not everybody wants to do that. But there, again, the wave is going that way, and then eventually you'll have these leaders coming out that are going to run these big corporations or be a part of the big corporations. So I think the movement is there, and you guys are doing well doing that.
Oh man, I appreciate it.
I got a quick question. You're like always going against the grain. Like you're not really, you're kind of in your own lane. Like what made you get in that crypto at 3,500?
That's like so funny, bro. Especially with Bilal being here too. I don't know, bro. To be honest, like
who put you on though? Like
it had to just. I was just so like back then, even now, I was just so like hungry for information, bro. Like I was in a bad position, so I'm doing everything that I can, trying to figure out where the money at, how do I get it, and I just stumbled across like cryptocurrency in 2017. So the reasoning behind it was, I'm a very logical guy. Like I'm very logical, very analytical. Like if it makes sense, bet. I just got a hold of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, all of these, cryptocurrencies 2017. I was like, this makes a lot of sense. Like I don't sign me up. Like it makes sense. So I took everything that I had at that point besides the $10,000 and just put it all into it because I just believed in the technology. So that's kind of why. But the Bitcoin's at 3,500.
Are you into any of these meme coins like Doge or Sandbox, any of that?
No Doge. And honestly, because I've been in for a decent amount of time, it's more so like I understand like this is obviously a meme. This is a joke. Like literally, it's made as a joke. So no, but everything else like Sandbox, Decentraland, all of the others.
You're in those?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because of the metaverse.
Yeah, I think it's a big play there.
Okay.
Me and B was talking about it. I told B about Decentraland at 9 cents, I want to say.
For real?
9 cents. Yeah, 9 cents. And he was telling me, because he was like, bro, what coin are you thinking about? I was like, bro, Decentraland is going to be big, bro. Like, I believe in it, the metaverse, like, et cetera. And then he put in a nice little bag. And he was like, bro, you need to just throw a band in there, too. And I was just like, nah, but like, it's a good coin. But I did throw in a lot, but not at the point that he got in. So, good situation, though.
Yeah, of course. You want to finish up?
All these pointers you just spit out, like they're just flowing from you. You do a masterclass. Oh yeah, you got one going on tonight.
Yeah,
right?
tonight. Yeah.
So you do a masterclass and just explain to the audience, how they can learn, because you have those youngsters. We met a guy. Just a short story. We met a guy at he came wanted to watch the show. One of the guys we had on, and he's a young guy, 20-year-old guy, and he's on the ground. He's following these front runners, like the U's, the other guys that we've interviewed in the past, and they're really learning. Yeah, they're making moves out there.
Crazy.
This guy's got 20-year-old kid's got two Airbnbs and 3 Turos.
Yeah. So crazy.
And he told me from his own mouth, he says, "I will never have a job in my life." Yeah, and so. Those guys that are out there that are following you, watching you, tell them where to.
Yeah, so on Sundays I do a free class because I believe in a few things. I believe that we really need to boost our impact, our income, and our influence. So the way that I do that is by teaching as many people as possible what I do and how they can do it for themselves. So on Sundays I do a free class where I teach people how to find manufacturers, how to run their first Facebook ad campaign, how to build their own website, and a bunch of other things as far as e-commerce goes. So just go to lastecomcourse.com. Register, absolutely free. Come and get some free game. I'm on there for a few hours, and hopefully it helps some of the viewers out.
Promote your ebook too, like everything that you're
okay.
selling, everything.
Yeah, and then also, I do have some paid products as well, and he's talking about the ebook. It's called The Last E-Commerce Ebook You'll Ever Need, and the reason I call it that is because I truly believe that once you get access to this information, it will be the last thing that you need to buy. So all of my vendors, all of my manufacturers, all of my freelancers, paid ads team, everybody that we talked about today, I put all of that information inside of there.
Yeah, because there's a lot of trash out there.
Yeah,
there's
bro.
a lot of trash courses, a lot of trash books. Yeah, it is. And you got something?
Yeah, I'm gonna do the either or. You just choose either or.
Okay.
All right, cool.
This should be good.
This gets a little interesting.
Adrian Morris or Taj Lopez?
That's a very good one. I'd have to say Ty Lopez.
For real?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Taj too.
Yeah.
Houston or Atlanta?
Houston, 1000%.
Baylor or Howard?
Howard for sure.
Neo or David Shands?
That's a great one. That's good. Man, I love both of them so much. I'd probably say Neo only because he was the one that really made me go and do this digital space.
Yeah, and then you was in the mastermind with him and
What?
During that week.
Oh yeah, the free. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Miss Skittles or Meg Thee Stallion?
It's very crazy because I know both of them, so it's like, I'll say Skittles.
Skittles. Yeah. I listen to like all your interviews. I listen to all your interviews. The Vault or Sleepers for Suckers?
I say Sleepers for Suckers.
All right. Crypto or regular stocks?
Crypto, 1000%.
All right. Ethereum or Litecoin?
Ethereum.
All right. Chris Paul or Giannis?
Chris Paul.
All right.
That's easy.
Devin Booker or Jason Tatum?
That's tough. Devin Booker.
All right. It's my last one. Tiana Taylor or Eva?
Oh, that's so tough. I would say Eva.
Eva?
Yeah.
Eva? All right.
I just have a better relationship with her.
That's cool. Yeah. That's cool. All right.
Well, listen, again, we appreciate you coming and talking with us. We're in Houston, Texas right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're rocking out there. It's a Sunday fun day.
Facts.
And we're at the Turkey Leg Hut. We're in the back room. So we're going to go join the crowd out there. Sunday Funny. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but they're rocking pretty hard out there. We appreciate Lynn and Nakia Price for letting us have our show here. And we definitely appreciate Justin P for stopping by and dropping all these gems with us, man.
Thank you for
having
me.
Appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Thank you, man.
So,
appreciate it.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, guys, like, subscribe, follow. We'll try our best to keep throwing more people, more content at you guys.